All right, so y'all, this is a video that has, I'm actually going to do three problems on here, y'all, out of 2.7. So this is question number 2, I believe, out of 2.7, and it says, suppose the point 15 and 14 is on the graph of y equals f of x. Okay, so y'all, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to write my point 15, 14. Remember, my friends, that's my x and that's my y. Okay, we're going to do two things here, y'all. Part A says, can we find a point on the graph of y equals f of 3x? Okay, so y'all, what I want you to do is I want you to look at what we got right here. Y equals f of cx. If I do a stare and compare and look at that and look at this, we would say that, hey, our number c here happens to be 3. So we want to find a point now on the graph of this. What we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to do it this way. We're going to say we're going to take our x divided by c, and my y number is going to be the same, okay? So y'all, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to say, look, our x number we said was 15. We're going to divide it by c, because that's what it's telling me to do right here, and that's my number 3, but my y number stays the same. So 15 divided by 3, y'all, that's just 5 and 14. So for part A, my answer will be 5 and 14. Now, there is a part B to it, y'all, and it says, can we find a point on the graph of y equals f of 1/3 x? Okay, excuse me. So, y'all, I'm going to do a stare and compare again. I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to look at that. I'm going to say, hey, in this case, my c is the number 1/3. So I'm going to do the same thing we did before. I'm going to take x, and we're going to divide it by c. So our x number, y'all, was 15, but we're now going to divide it by 1/3. My y number will stay as a 14, okay? So y'all, when we take 15 and divide it by 1/3, that's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So 15 times 3, and then 14, and 15 times 3, y'all, is 45. So 45 and 14 would be our other point, okay? Now, the next problem we had on our list, y'all, was this one right here. So here's our table. Here's our y equals f of x, right? This one right here. And they're asking us, can we make a table for g of x, which is equal to f of x plus 1 minus 1. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, y'all, I'm going to look at this part right here, x plus 1. That looks a lot like this, which means I'm going to the left. If I'm going to the left, y'all, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract, in this case, the number 1 from our x values, okay? So, y'all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to go minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, okay? And I'm going to make a new table in a minute, okay? I'll deal with that in a second. Second thing we're going to do, y'all, we're going to look at this minus 1. Now, that minus 1, y'all, that's on the outside of my parentheses, which means we're going to be going down 1. So if we're going to go down 1, y'all, we need to subtract, in this case, the number 1 from my y values, okay? So I'm going to go minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, okay? And now, y'all, what we're going to do is we're going to make a brand new table, okay? So let's make a table for our x and for our g of x, okay? So let me clean this up a little bit, write it just where I got some room. We'll do it in green just to make it prettier. G of x, okay. So let's come back over here. So y'all, if I start to subtract 1 from those top numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we subtract 1 from the bottom numbers, 2 minus 1 is 1, 4 minus 1 is 3, 5 minus 1 is 4, 7 minus 1 is 6, 8 minus 1 is 7, and 10 minus 1 is 9. And that's the table that we're going to have, okay? And y'all, I got one last one here. And we're trying to see, can we figure out what we're supposed to do here? So again, y'all, here's my original table, okay? What we're asked to do is, can we make a table for g of x? I know there's a table there, y'all, but I'm going to go ahead and make my own, okay? So let's do this. Okay. All right, first thing I want you to notice, y'all, for my function g of x, we have a negative on the inside. When we have a negative on the inside, we're going to reflect the graph across the y-axis. All that means I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to change the signs of my x values, okay? So where this used to be a -2, +2, +1, 0, -1, and -2, okay? Now, let's look at the second part. Here, y'all, we got a +1. That +1, again, y'all, on the outside. That means we're going to add 1 to our y values, right? So look, y'all, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go +1, +1, +1, +1, +1. So 10 + 1 is 11, 8 + 1 is 9, 4 + 1 is 5, 2 + 1 is 3, and -1 + 1 is 0. Okay, and now we got to figure out, well, hey, how am I going to enter those numbers in here, okay? Let me show you how we're going to do that, y'all. Look, when x is -2, y is 0. So when x is -2, I'm going to put a 0 right there. When x is -1, y is 3. When x is 0, y is 5. When x is 1, y is 9. And when x is 2, y is 11. And all these questions, y'all, came out of the homework for 2.7, okay? If you got some questions, let me know, y'all. I'm happy to